Happy Tuesday. Happy last day of September. Hello, everyone. Somebody let me know you can hear me or see me. Anyway, hi, Rhonda. Hi, Roadrunner. Hi, Sonata. Hi, Vanessa. Hi, Stay Tuned. Bonjour, Jean-Marc. Cindy, hello. Hi, Bronwyn, all the way from Australia with your ruse. The ruse. Karen 13, welcome. Jellybean Paris. Hi, Lawrence, welcome in. And Lisa and Anne Maria. Well, good day. For some of you, it's evening. Those of you who are in Europe, it's already evening, light nighttime. Rachel, bonjour from Normandy. Hi, Kay from upstate New York. Wild Horses, Marion from Canada. What part of Canada? Bonnie, Violets and Roses. Hi, Donna G. Yeah, it's 7. So you're only 5 hours ahead of me? No, that's 6 hours. 6 hours ahead of me. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm so used to being on the West Coast and having so much of a time difference. It's really nice. It's not that much now. Hi, bonjour, Rick. Hi, Jane. Bonjour. You guys are giving me a lot of chance to say my favorite word in French because I love that. I think I told you guys when I was in France, it was like my favorite thing about French culture is just this bonjour, like everywhere. Like just, it's so lovely. It really just is. Hi, Suzanne. Hi, Bonnie from British Columbia. Okay, I've been there. Okay, so I think I said hi, Pamela and Carol. Yes, it's taco day. Not having tacos. I had an omelet, had a cheese omelet with cottage cheese on the side. It's my favorite lunch. I've been doing it a lot. It's relatively inexpensive and it's good for my protein intake. And so that's what I do. Hi, bonsoir from Sweden. Katarina, thank you. Tracy, Juliet, just Jana, hi. Well, Kay, it's interesting. I watch Jay Swanson. He has a channel. He lives in Paris. If you've never seen his channel, I really like Jay. He's different. He does a different kind of channel, but he also has another channel that's like Paris in my pocket or something. He's not paying me to say this. He doesn't even know me, but I've watched his channel for several years. And anyway, he talked about how French is actually harder to learn than you would think because it's one of the Romance languages like French, Spanish, Italian, Romanian, Portuguese, I think is in there. Anyway, it's one of those Romance languages, but it's actually pretty difficult in comparison. He said German was easier for him to learn than French to become fluent in. Isn't that interesting? So I don't know if that's your experience because uh, French is the only language I even like partly know. Like, I know a little bit of Russian, but not very much. So I don't have a lot of comparison, but yeah, I found when I was in France, it was very challenging to understand people speaking in French. Like if I was sitting in a restaurant and listening to people, like I could make out words, but I couldn't necessarily completely understand what they were saying. So anyway, Lucinda, welcome in. Yes, Rhonda, I would like to get to Montreal in Quebec. In France and speak some French there. Sure. I could drive there if I ever have a car. So good for you, Jana. Do your Spanish. There you go. Espanol. Hi, John. See you too. Welcome. Welcome in. Yeah, Kay, I do good on the apps. I had Duolingo for French and I was doing really well on it. And I probably studied that for 8, 9 months. And I haven't been doing it since I've been back. But the thing is that that's different than hearing spoken French. It really is a big difference. So, hi, Leah. Hi, May. Bonjour. And hi, Marva. Yeah, so I'm so glad to see a lot of you here today. Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about some other things, and then we're going to get into our topic for the day, which is on resilience, which is, I always think, a very important topic, very underrated quality in people having resilience. So I just thought it would be good to talk about. But a couple of things. First of all, I don't know about you guys, but I think I'm going to get a little disappointed in the fall colors. You see this beautiful tree on the tapestry behind me. That may be as colorful as I get because our temperatures have been still warm. And when I look at the 10-day forecast, we're not even getting cold till maybe the end of October, maybe. And I think that's going to affect the colors of the leaves because so far we're not getting good colors at all. So I don't know if you guys are experiencing that, especially if you live in the Ohio region in one of these states. Um, I may be disappointed in the fall colors, and I was so looking forward to it. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, so do you think it's affecting the colors? Yeah, the colors, that's right. Kay says it's been a very dry summer, which may mean the colors won't be as bright. That's what I think. Because I've already seen trees lose their leaves and they're just brown. They're just brown. So I think I'm not going to get the beautiful colors this year. Well, I might still be here for next fall. So there's that. Yeah, you need a cold snap. Exactly, Rick. You need a cold snap. I mean, I know that the leaves turning has to do with the shortening of the days, the light and stuff, but the colors of the leaves has to do with the temperature, I think. Yeah, I know. It's going to be a dud fall. What can I say? Oh well. Anyway, I wanted to tell you guys that, and then what else was I going to tell you? Oh, so I have a doctor's appointment on Thursday. And I called yesterday for the community transportation that you're supposed to be able to book 24 hours in advance. And I was booking it like 4 days in advance. And I called them and they were already booked up for Thursday. So they couldn't take me to the doctor. And like, well, that's a sucky system. If I'd known that was going to book up that fast, I guess I should have booked it, a week ago when I first made the appointment. But I thought, 4 days, plenty of time. No, it's not. So I have a couple of options, apparently. I might be able to get an Uber there and then be able to walk back because I've driven that route enough times now that there's not any major hills coming back. It's like 1.7 miles, but it's not like a huge thing. So I'm thinking worst case scenario, I can hopefully catch an Uber there and walk back after the doctor. So I'll let you know how that goes on Saturday. Hi, Carolyn. Welcome in. Well, John Mark, this is an example of how the community transportation is failing me. I've only used them twice. You can't always get them. And now I realize the minute I make another appointment, I've got to book it. I mean, that's that's what I have to do apparently. So, and yes, I think it'll be fine. There's no major hills. It's not like the other route that you have to take to where I live, where you have to go up this whole couple of horrible hills. That's kind of in another direction. And so if I go the back streets to get over there, yeah. Jean-Marc, I already discussed that, I think, in a video. I don't think you heard it before on the e-bike. The streets here are not real conducive to e-bikes. It's not like Europe. And I'd be actually too scared. I couldn't, I mean, I could ride an e-trike, but then I can't get an e-trike in my, there's no way to get that in my apartment. So I don't know. Yeah. No, I think I'll be fine on this. I just kind of blew my mind yesterday that 4 days in advance, I couldn't get a ride to the doctors. Like, come on. Anyway. Stay tuned. Yeah, I stopped making shorts before my channel even expanded. So I only did the shorts as just kind of an experiment. I like doing them, but there's no money in them. You don't make any money with YouTube. It's like 3 cents, 7 cents per 1,000 views or something for a short. So you don't make any money at it. I like shorts. I would love to do more on just little, just a topic and you just do it for 60 seconds or whatever. But yeah, you do have to, there should be, if you go into my channel, you'll see that there's a special shorts category. So you can find them there. Yeah, Bonnie, I still don't really know my neighbors here. Everybody, I don't really, and I don't want to ask my landlady. I don't. I really don't. I mean, she's really nice about it, but I don't want to abuse that at all. So I just don't want to ask her. I think the weather's good all week. It's not going to be raining or anything. I'm just gonna try. I should be able to get an Uber there. And I'm gonna do it like I'm gonna call for one like 2.5 hours ahead of time to make sure that in case there's a delay, I can get over there. And then I'll just walk back. I think it's a little easier on the walk back. So yeah. No, Jess. Patricia Shorts, they said that at one time, but I don't think so. I don't know. I did have shorts on there for a while and then my channel did blow up things. So I don't know, maybe it helped. But and that was before I was monetized. So I didn't care that the shorts didn't make any money because I wasn't making any money anyway. But they just don't pay anything. It's kind of crazy because I think you can do up to a 3-minute short now, and you're doing a 3-minute video and you don't get paid like the same type of scale you make on a long form video. It's kind of ridiculous. So, Kay, actually, sometimes you can schedule Ubers ahead, but the problem still is they may not have a driver available. So it's just hit or miss with Uber here, unfortunately. And I hadn't even ridden with Uber in like what, 3 weeks now, probably. So, hi, Christopher, welcome in from Oklahoma. Okay, so anyway, that's the thing about transportation I wanted to share with you. There was something else I should have written these things down. There was something else I was going to, oh, it was funny. Somebody on I don't know how many of you were in my Saturday live stream, but somebody heard this noise in the background and they said, that sounds like a smoke alarm. Like a chirp, when it's dying, like the battery needs to be replaced. In our hallways in the building, it wasn't from inside my apartment, but for about 5 days, this smoke alarm chirping was going on like every minute in the apartment. I'm not in the apartment, in the halls, but you could hear it in the apartment still. And a couple of people noticed it and commented on the live stream. It was so funny. So I was like, it's fixed now. It got fixed yesterday morning. So yay. But that's an annoying sound, isn't it, when that happens? Yeah. No, there's no taxis here, Daughter of Earth. No, I've talked about this before. This has been a transportation struggle here. It still is a transportation struggle. So, yeah. Yeah, Jelly Bean, again, though, that's only good if there's a driver available. They can't promise you, they can book it, but that doesn't mean they're actually going to get you a driver for sure. That's the problem with it. So it doesn't really help that much. Hi, Laura, welcome in. Yeah, Lawrence, the beeping, it was like a every minute. I could it was a little subdued in my bedroom, so it wasn't interfering with my sleep or anything. But the weird thing is, I just thought it was one because they have several smoke alarms in the hall, and I thought it was just one of them. And then I went to do wash my towels or something, and I realized no, it was all of them. So everybody on my floor was hearing this. And I'm sure they told, the manager and whatever. So, but it probably couldn't get fixed till yesterday morning. So, but yeah, I've never, it came through on the video. That was so funny. Anyway, thank you, Sonata. That's nice of you to say. Yeah, I don't know what it was because they were interconnected, Kay. There was like, yeah, I don't know. I'll find out at some point when I talk to my landlady what it was. Um, yeah. Okay. Well, let's get into our topic. And then if I actually think of what I was going to say, something else I was going to tell you guys. Okay. So resilience. So resilience is one of the definitions is the capacity to withstand difficulties or to recover quickly from difficulties, also known as toughness. And it requires a lot of mental strength, flexibility, and healthy coping skills. So I would expect that we boost our resilience as we get older, in the sense that when you're a child, you may have innate resilience more than another child, but I think that it's something you build as you become an adult or you get towards adulthood. And I found when I was a therapist that, in particular, people who didn't have resilience are the ones who really struggled because, at some point, even people that might have resilience face something so overwhelming that it breaks them. It just breaks that down for them. And so then they can't be resilient. But I can tell you that resilience is one of the most underrated qualities to have. Like, people don't realize how important it is. You know, I am tough, but only because I'm very resilient. I'm actually a very emotional person, and I'm actually I a lot of things have thrown me in my life. Well, you guys have witnessed some of that. And so the thing is that but resilience is always what's gotten me through. And I've always been aware of that because I get knocked down by something and then I get up. Like, that's just what I do. I get up and I try again or try a different way or kind of reset and figure out another option. Um well, Rhonda, I'm only here for a year. That's all I committed to. So uh Laura says a doctor once said that resilience is taught. I think it's innate too. I think it's both. I think you can learn it, but I also believe it's innate in some people. I've been a fighter all my life. I mean, I died when I was a baby and came back. And I was sick a lot until I was 3.5 years old. I think resilience began in me early because I wanted to live, and you have to learn to fight through things in order to make it. And so, even though I'm very emotional and I can really, be at my worst scenario, worst case type of thing. I usually bounce back. Now, one exception to that is I don't think I was very resilient during my wasteland years. I mean, I guess in a way I was because I survived and I still had a job and I never lost the roof over my head. But I think that That was when I was at my lowest point with resilience. I think now I've learned this last year has been a real training course in resilience for me. Um, so, I think that now I probably have more appreciation for it than I ever did. Um, Linda, no, it won't. I'm telling you, I can't get an electric trike through the door or through the slider in this apartment. I can't. So it will not fit. It will fit in the apartment. It won't get in the apartment, if that makes sense. And I can't get it through the doors to get into my apartment. My apartment has an interior entrance. It's not open to the outside except through the slider, but even the slider isn't big enough for the trike. So I'm just telling you, I know it doesn't fit. I think there's lots of reason why we have a desire. I mean, people do have a self-preservation instinct, if you can call it that. We used to have this discussion in my psychology class. How much of humans is actually instinct? I think we have very little instinct. We probably are the least instinctual of any creature on earth. But self-preservation, you could argue, is an instinct. I would say, in a way, not, because people will still destroy themselves, in emotional ways and physical ways. And so I don't know that it's that. I don't know that it's as strong as to be called an instinct. I guess it's a drive. I think it's a drive. Yeah, yeah. Yes, thank you, Linda. I'm telling you, it won't fit. um, Stay tuned. Yeah. Yeah. I was on autopilot when I was in the wasteland. So I was just living. No, I wasn't living. I was existing. I was surviving, but I wasn't really living. So, Bronwyn, yes, you're being resilient. There you go. You just got over shingles. Now you have a fractured wrist. What happened, Bronwyn? Oh my gosh. Anne says something important here. I think if one has childhood trauma, it will be difficult to build up resilience through life. That's yes, I'd say that makes it harder for people. People who've had a lot of trauma in childhood very often just can't seem to build the resilience like other people can, or to naturally have it, because maybe they would have had it, but the trauma they went through really, kind of defeated that. So, yeah. So I can just tell you, if you feel like you have resilience, you're already 5 steps ahead of the game, basically, because resilience is the key to living. It really is. It's the key to living. And I don't mean just existing. I mean living. Because you get knocked down and you got to get up and be that much tougher and just deal with what you got to deal with. So, oh, Bronwyn, you fell over your feet in the garden. Oh, see, this is the thing. When we get older, it's so easy to just one fall and you have a catastrophe. I know. Yes, Linda, I am in a rural Ohio town. I'm in small town. Well, I'm in small town, Ohio. Yeah, that's the actual name, small town. No, it's not tough. It's being tough, but it doesn't mean to tough it out, HFC. Yeah. But it is toughness. To be resilient means you have an element of toughness in your nature, or you've learned it. And so Violets and Roses shares that your terrible childhood made me resilient. Yeah, it certainly can. It can do either way. It just depends on the person. So going through horrible things can make you more resilient, or can actually destroy that in you, and it breaks you. So it just depends on the person. Hi, La Dolce Vita. Ciao. Um, my sound and voice disappeared. Am I still here? I hope I'm still here. I feel like I'm still here. It's not telling me my computer is being weird. Oh, that's what else I had to tell you. We'll come back to resilience in a second. Okay. So who was it? Oh, Brickaloose was on here. I don't think Brickaloose is on here, but she sent me an email. Anyway, I don't have an Ethernet connection on this laptop. There is no Ethernet plugin. I've looked. It's not here on either side. There's nothing in the back. So I can't do a normal Ethernet plugin unless they have a different kind of thing to plug in, because everything, when I went online to look at getting an Ethernet, it was what is with my sound here? I feel like my thing isn't loud enough, and I have my computer on full volume. Yeah. Anyway, okay, great. Thank you guys for telling me I'm fine. YouTube thing has a thing with sound. You have to refresh the browser. Okay. Well, I can't do that while I'm in the thing, or I'll lose you guys. So, oh, okay. Yeah, it does that. It's gonna buffer and it's gonna freeze once in a while. We just want to make sure it doesn't get knocked out. Yeah, La Dolce Vita shares, after 10 years in Italy, I wear resilience like a badge of honor. I tell you, I yes, that's what I'd need. I'd need an Ethernet adapter with a USB, Lisa. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, yes, badge of honor indeed. Let me just share a couple other things about resilience here. So resilience, a lot of times people think, oh, resilience is about just not getting into difficulties. Well, first of all, you can't always avoid getting into difficulties. Life happens and you have problems to deal with. So it's more that you have to be resourceful to adapt to them, to overcome them. So it's not about avoiding difficulties at all. I mean, I still had somebody, I can't remember who it was, somebody commented in the regular comments saying something like, well, everything is due to the choices we make in life. No, not everything. We don't choose everything. It just happens to us. Bronwyn, she broke her wrist. She fell on something. She didn't choose that. That happened to her. And now that affects her life. You don't choose to get shingles. You don't choose to get cancer. You don't choose any of those things. There's lots that happens to us that is not our choices. Absolutely. So anyway, oh, wait, I have to read over here that some of you are sharing some. Okay, an adapter. I have to get an adapter, TS. Okay, thank you. Thank you, guys. Yeah, Kimberly shares that her childhood made her resilient, but it had affected her mother differently. It's funny. My mother had way more childhood trauma than I did growing up, and she became very resilient. But as she got older, she lost a lot of that. Isn't that interesting? So some people do lose it as they get older, and it just doesn't, they just can't tap into it anymore for some reason. So anyway, yes, HFC, a lot of it is attitude, because if you believe you can do something, then you're already at least halfway there, just believing you can do it. I know I'm going to annoy some people who said, do you know when I put my bed together and I talked about how that was like an amazing thing for me to be able to do at my age? And I had a couple people, more than one. So a few people in the comments go, "Oh, get over it already. You put together a bed, big deal." Like, okay. But the point is that I had to believe I could do it, because honestly, it would have been so easy to give up on that and try to find somebody to help me. But I believed I could do it. I was like, there's got to be a way to do this. And that's why I'm using that as another example. So if anybody want to slam me in the comments, just go ahead. Anyway, make my day. That's what I do when I read your mean comments. Not you guys. You guys don't do the mean comments. When I read mean comments, I do laugh. I do. It doesn't, people think it really bothers me. The only thing that really bothers me are the ones that are really very like, I don't know. It's hard to explain, especially the ones when I did that video about my son. Those comments, I have to admit, did start to get to me. But most of them, 90% of comments just don't even bother me. So when the people said, stop talking about the bed, I just wanted to talk about it more. um, Rick says we should have a contest called Some Assembly Required. Last one standing wins. Yeah, I know. I do not. It's not some, for a brief moment when I was doing that bed, I was like, oh, I should sign on to TaskRabbit and do this for other people. And then I thought, oh, that's the stupidest thing you've ever thought of. Do you know how that would kill me to have to put together a bunch of beds? Anyway, sorry. That's just funny. Just Janice says, that's me, a rebel. Tell me not to and want more. Yeah, I'm not ordinarily totally like that, though. I was never a rebellious person growing up, really. And I'm not typically like, if somebody just says, oh, don't do that or whatever, that doesn't really awaken that in me. But for some reason, it's like, I don't know, when people just say that they don't like it that I mention something, for some reason, that's what like just makes me want to talk about it more. It's kind of I don't know what it is, a contrariness or something on my part. I'm not a really true rebel in the respect of, because I was such a good kid. I was such a good teenager. Like I never, my mother never appreciated the fact that I never did drugs. I wasn't drinking, except that there was like 2 occasions I drank maybe before I was like a senior or by the time I graduated high school. And so I was such a good kid. She was the one I had to worry about. I was the one who often was home on a Friday night and my mom would be out at a party and I'd be worried to death that she'd get home safely, because I knew, back in those days, people drank and drove, and my mom, she would drink and she would drive home like that. And it would scare me so bad. And so our roles were really reversed when I was a teenager. So no, I was never a rebellious teenager at all. Anyway, somebody asked for Lucy. Yes, Lucy Bronwyn says, is Lucy resilient? Well, duh. She made it on a tramp steamer from Peru to San Francisco. And then, what happened here, Lucy? You're a little wild over here. Anyway, and then she made it from the Amazon warehouse to me. And then she withstood the rigors of travel in Europe, often crammed away in my suitcase. Yeah. That's her middle name, Resilience. She is the poster girl for resilience. This one. Yeah. Anyway. Thank you, May. That's funny. You rock in the bed store. Oh, Sandra. Oh no, your bed broke. I'm sorry. And she is the best. She's a well-traveled llama, Someday, if I can no longer travel anymore, I may have to find her a new travel home. So, because she loves it so. Rebellious people become cats in the next life, Justin says. Oh, goodness. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Bronwyn. And Lawrence, you said yeah, something about my sense of humor. Yeah, I don't know. Part of resilience is having a sense of humor, because the greatest thing you can do is if something bad happens to you and it knocks you down, you're not going to laugh immediately, trust me. But the trick is that after you recover from the initial blow, the trick is to be able to laugh about it. Because you know what? If you survived it, you got to at some point go, that's amazing. And I made it through. And be able to just joke about it to yourself, even if you don't do it to someone else. It's just being able, my humor has gotten me through so many things, not in the moment, because if something's really serious, I'm not going to joke about it. That's really inappropriate in the moment. But afterwards, you have to be able to laugh at it. I think of a lot of things I could laugh about that went on, that I went through in Europe. Let me tell you, I can laugh about a lot of it right now. So, yeah, I got to have some water. Okay, let me give you some inspiring quotes about resilience here to button this up here. This is a quote from Maya Angelou, who said, "I can be changed by what happens to me, but I refuse to be reduced by it." In other words, something big can happen in your life and change you, but you don't have to become less by it. In other words, you still it still makes you an incredibly strong person. Confucius said, "Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall." I love that one, because that's kind of what I do. Like I've fallen many times in my life, but I've gotten up. You have to get up. And so anyway, hi, bonjour, Muriel. Yeah, Pamela, you have to be able to, objectively means you have to be able to kind of pull back and look at it from a different perspective. So you're not so emotionally charged by it. So that often helps. Excuse me. Hi, Just Pyrite. And then I think I had one more quote about resilience. Oh, Nelson Mandela had a good one. He says, "Do not judge me by my success. Judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again." Yeah, I love that one too. Exactly. So, and I have fallen a lot in my life and gotten back up again. So I feel like that one is appropriate. Yeah, we always have to have some good quotes on a Tuesday when we have topic Tuesdays. Exactly, just Jana. It's about, yeah, and every single one of us, all of you that are in this chat, um, we're all facing challenges and difficulties in our lives. Maybe not all of us right at this second, but a lot of us are right at this second. And the thing is that we all have different, levels of resilience inside of us. You can't really judge your resilience against someone else, because it really depends on what is happening to them, how they've learned from their life, how they're getting through the current difficulties of their life. So, yeah. But you do have to be able to, well, I don't really call it objectivity and subjectivity, Bonnie. I call it more, you have to be able to detach from yourself and be able to look at it like you're an outsider. And it doesn't mean purely objectively, because you still may have some, perspective on it that's not totally objective, but it's not the emotional perspective that you have being in yourself. And see, I know that because of mindfulness and because of the spiritual stuff that I do, is the best way to be able to look at something with a better perspective is to just detach from it, to kind of pull back and be able to look at yourself objectively, well, objectively somewhat, and basically say, oh, this is what, or not yourself, but the situation objectively, and say, oh, this is going on, and take your emotion out of it for a moment. Because the emotion is what trips us up. You know, we have fear, we have frustration, we have anger, we have sadness, we have all these things that interfere sometimes with being resilient. Yes. So, yeah, just pyrite. People can be discouraging, but you know what? I still believe that the majority of people in the world, okay, I'm gonna do a quote from Anne Frank. That I told you guys I played Anne Frank when I was 16 years old in a play. And I'll never forget, like, her last line of the play is that I still believe, in spite of everything, that people are really good at heart. And I would say that I do believe the majority of people are good at heart. Not everyone. There's still, you know, and when we say majority, it might only be 60%. It might be 65%, might be 70. But the point is that people, I have found that if you're looking for good in, this is my suggestion. I think it's good to look for good in people. I try to do that when I'm out in the world. When I was over in Europe, I did this. I do this here. I try to think the best of somebody until proven otherwise. Now, if somebody, you know, basically negates that by their actions, that's different. But, you know, I don't know. I still do believe that most people act more positively than they do negatively. In other words, they do good things more than they do bad things. I'm not saying they're all saints. I'm just saying that we're, so I know, daughter of earth, I realize that, but you know what? There is still, you know, the mouths of babes. Sometimes children, they say a wisdom that is true. And I mean, she was killed. She died in a concentration. I mean, she died. It was typhus or typhoid fever or whatever. But she basically was killed by the Nazis. So the thing is that you know, of course, she didn't know that when she made that comment that that was going to happen to her at the time. But the point is that, you know, no, I think it's still good to think the best of people until proven otherwise. That doesn't mean you trust everybody. I mean, your gut will tell you sometimes if you can't trust people. And I do trust my gut about that. There are people that you just can't trust. But I do believe, even in the tough times we're living in, and we are living through some tough times right now, that the good in people, I think, will always eventually outweigh the bad. Wow. See, that's for all my people that say how negative I am. You know, I love that one too. I was going to say, one of my other favorite comments, the people that really hated me saying that I was proud of myself for putting the bed together, the haters on that, I love that. But also, I love the people that say, I just can't listen to you. You're so negative. I know I'm being so negative right now, aren't I? I mean, incredibly negative. How would anybody watch that? I can't even imagine. Hi, Nicody. And we're talking about resilience, Nicody. Well, I have faith that there's more than this reality, daughter of earth. I don't have a religion. So, but I do believe that there is more to it than this. And I do believe there's meaning in life. I do believe there is meaning. So, yeah. Jelly Bean Paris. If I ever get to Amsterdam, I did not get to see that when the one time I was in Amsterdam when I was young, but I do want to go to the Anne Frank house. I would probably get emotional, honestly. And yeah. That's the spirit, La Dolce Vita. You know what's funny about the people that complain about me complaining? It's more that they don't like that I complain. They don't, but they don't, I don't think any of those people ever watch the whole video. They watch me complain about one thing and then they just think all she does is complain, which is not all I do. So, but it's funny because they're complaining about me complaining. I mean, the irony of that is funny. Like, so, so you want to complain about somebody complaining. Okay. You do you. Hmm. Yes, I know, Daughter of Earth. You can't get them at the last minute. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I know I'm really especially dark humored today for some reason and I'm being sarcastic about the haters. I really am. I don't know. It's funny to me that again, I don't know, if I had $100 for every time I've said this, I would be rich now from this saying this on YouTube, but I don't know what prompts people to try to say something hateful to somebody on a channel. Like, I just don't get it. If you don't like the channel, don't watch the channel. Like, you don't, I mean, it's not just people say it to the person that has the channel, they say it to other people in the comments. Like, what the heck, people? Do we not have anything better to do? And I'm the negative one. That's the fun. To me, that's just hysterical. So, anyway. Sandra P. Sarcasm is resilience. Well, it can be. It's certainly a coping mechanism. I don't like mean sarcasm. I don't like to be like really mean to like a particular person with it because I grew up in a family that was very sarcastic. I mean, my mom and her family sarcastic all the time kind of thing. And my dad really wasn't. So I kind of learned the non-sarcastic way of living from his side of the family. To me, sarcasm has its place, but I don't do it to try to tear down an individual, if that makes sense. I just say it in general about people's behavior in general or something like that. But I don't like to I don't like to use it in a mean-spirited way towards a person. Let's just put it that way. Yes, Lydia, people do. They love to criticize when it's anonymous. Yeah, if they had to say it to your face, they probably wouldn't do that, but most people wouldn't. Sandra. Well, see, there's a fun way to use sarcasm. That's the thing. And the Irish in particular, because I've been around a number of people from Ireland, I love their humor. And I think their sarcasm is hysterical because it's not usually, it's not meant in a mean spirited way generally. It's meant just in a fun way and about, observations about humans in general. So, anyway. No, they probably wouldn't just Jana. Yeah, that's what I mean, just pyrite. I was raised with this sarcasm and my mom was a lot more mean-spirited about it than I could ever be. Not saying I've never said anything mean sarcastically. I'm sure I have. But yeah. Yeah. Oh, wait, I want to see this quote you had from Joan Baez. I love Joan Baez. Dogelben says Joan Baez said in an interview she thinks in today's world be 85% in denial and 15. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's 85%. I don't think it's that high. I think I think we're in a tough battle. I think it's about the way people are behaving and the hate that's coming out. I think there's a lot more than there was when I was growing up, or at least expressed. I'm not saying there's more hate. I think there's always been hate in people. I just think that there's more now expressed than there used to be. So, anyway. Yeah, Mercy. A lot of people are disillusioned. I don't do any other social media. I just don't. I had somebody ask me about, oh, I guess, I think my landlady asked me about that. She goes, oh, well, don't you do others? Like, do you have like an Instagram and TikTok and whatever? I go, no, I don't do anything else. I just do YouTube. Because honestly, I don't like the other platforms. I just don't. I don't find them, to me, YouTube has redeeming value overall. Yeah, there's yucky stuff on YouTube, but for the most part, it's a better platform in a generic, universal, not generic, universal way for all of the world than a lot of these other things are. Some of them are more geared towards young people, and the whole thing about Instagram, I didn't want to go that route because then I quickly saw that people were just like faking things to look good on there, or putting on filters, or even using AI and not even using their real self. And the AI thing has got me, ugh, the whole AI thing has got me scared about the future of everything, basically. But in particular, because I'm on YouTube, it makes me afraid for YouTube. I don't know if you've heard this from other creators, but I will share this with you now that um, it is really scary already what's happening on YouTube. A lot of people, my channel included, and I don't take it personally. I know it's happening to tons of channels. We're all getting less views all of a sudden, like in the last month or so, too. And basically, it's not affecting everyone, not 100%, but it is a big percentage of people on YouTube. And it's the rise, I believe, of AI and how that's affecting the algorithm and what the algorithm on YouTube chooses to push out. I think they're giving a lot, even though YouTube said they were going to crack down on these AI run channels, they're still getting way more views than the real people channels. So, yeah, if you guys want to do a favor to all the creators that are on here for real, yeah, do what Karen said and refuse to watch a lot of these AI videos. It's not helping, because if people don't watch them, then it'll help the channels where they're being run by a real person. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's a nightmare. I think it's more of a problem over on Facebook and Instagram than it is YouTube in general, but it is affecting YouTube. And I'm like watching what's going on right now, and I'm not liking it. So, oh, Dogelbin, you can tell usually it's, AI will get a lot more sophisticated. So I'm not saying that someday you might not know the difference, but now you do know the difference. You'll hear the voice, and they'd still make errors in pronunciation and stuff. So you can kind of tell from that. And they generally don't use real images. They're using stock footage and images and video. And those videos, yeah, like Pamela says, yeah, if you're studying ancient language or even maybe history or something and you want to watch an AI, I can understand that to some degree. But there are even people doing AI channels for, like, again, giving advice to people or whatever. It's just, it's kind of gotten out of hand. I think I told you guys months ago, I don't remember when it was. I think it was before I left for Europe. There was a channel that ripped off one of my biggest video and basically used it almost word for word. There were little chunks they took out of it and they didn't use, but they used the other parts like word for word from the video I had on being an elder orphan. And I couldn't really do anything about it. I mean, I could have technically tried to do something about it, but yeah, Yeah, and but it scared me when I looked at the form on YouTube for filing a complaint, and it like kind of I didn't want to put my channel in jeopardy. So I just decided not to go after it. And so the good thing about doing like live streams like I'm doing now, where I do some education in the live stream, generally people don't copy the live streams. So you don't usually have to worry about people stealing it, which is good. So yeah, there's the AI thing. Keep an eye on it, guys. It can be, I had a premonition about it. I'm sure some of you did too, back 40 years ago, more than 40 years ago when the first Terminator came out. And I remember going to the theater with my husband at the time, and I said to him, I said, this is sobering because this could happen. And now I believe it even more. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen in my lifetime to that degree, but I mean, we're moving so fast on this AI, and it's going to be, there's a point which it could get out of control, is all I'm saying. And that's scary. That is scary. So yes. Jean-Marc, I do know the channel. I don't remember it offhand which one it is now, but it's one of these AI run like advice things, or it was something for older people, but it was all just AI. Yeah. Bye, Cody. Jean-Marc, right now I do. I actually get more RPM, which is my revenue per mil for live streams. So that's why I'm doing 2 a week, because it's like, okay, if they're not going to push my regular videos out that much, then, you know. Oh, that's weird, Judith. You did a job interview with an AI person? Oh, that's freaky. That would freak me the heck out. Wow. Yeah, just pyrite to do notes or something, that's fine. See, there's really good uses for AI, like for researching stuff, for taking notes, for getting, like if you want to put a script together, even for something, there's really great uses for it, but it should be really restricted in how it's used. And they're not doing that. It's already, like Dogelbin said, it's already out of control, I think. So yeah, I'm a little bit scared about YouTube. I don't know how YouTube is going to continue to deal with this. I still think people want to see real people on here. I don't think they want a bunch of AI. You can always go online and look up AI stuff anytime you want, but we will see. Yes, HFC, it is an oxymoron. It's not a person. Yeah. Anyway, well, we're just going to go a few more minutes. Any other questions or thoughts you have for today, and we'll wrap it up. The Tuesday ones are a little less lengthy than our Saturday live streams. So hour, because technically there's 2 of us. Just saying. Oh, Pamela asked if it's an okay laundry room. It's a laundry room. The machines work. It's good. So I haven't had a problem yet, Pamela. Judith asked, what do I think of the ghosting trend in relationships? Well, yeah, well, technically, my son ghosted me long before they were doing ghosting, I guess. But I don't like the ghosting thing. I think it's really rude. If you're in a relationship with somebody, I'm talking about in an actual relationship, like either a romantic thing or a close friendship or whatever, you don't just disappear. You should say something like, this isn't working out. I don't really feel like we're, good friends anymore, whatever, so I don't know. I don't like the ghosting thing myself. I haven't really dealt with it a lot except for my family. So there you go. Oh yeah, Debbie asked about the NHS offering robot surgeries. They do those here too. I got to say personally, I don't want a robot doing my surgery. I'm just being honest. Can't do it. I really, really would just because they do have to tell you that ahead of time. I cannot, no, no. I want a real surgeon doing also, not I don't know, okay, how many of you I'm gonna ask you guys a question. How many of you have ridden in one of those self-driving cars, in, like, the bigger cities? Like, what do they call them? Waymo in California or something? Yeah. So, anyway, self-driving cars, I can't do that. I was in San Francisco, remember last year in November, and, I could have ridden a Waymo. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't bring myself to do it. I just thought, "No." I was watching some YouTube person, and they were in a Waymo, and, I think it was in LA, and, the Waymo ran a red light. It ran a red light. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. No, no, no. So, I don't know if those are a big thing in Europe. You guys that live in Europe, are the self-driving cars over there a big thing in the big cities? Yeah, Dobuben, I could see where assisting in a surgery would be okay, but not you still gotta have a surgeon there. I'm sorry. May, yeah. Not in the UK, Debbie says. No, not yet? Okay. No, alright. Yeah, a lot smarter in Europe is all I'm saying here. What's with the self-driving cars? I'm sorry. Until they have to really perfect that technology more than it's been perfected, let me just put it that way. So, now someday, yeah, I guess it will work, but, yeah, no, I don't want a self-driving car. Yeah, Dolce Vita says, "I'd love them to try a Waymo in Southern Italy." Oh, yeah, with the roads and the Italian drivers? Oh, yeah, that'd be wild. Yeah, no, I don't see that happening anytime real soon. I mean, maybe in our lifetime, but I don't know. Pamela, I'm sure there's been very successful surgeries done by robots. I still would not choose it. If I'm given a choice, I'm not choosing it, is all I'm saying. Yeah, they involve robotics, wild horses, but not purely robotic is the point. I don't mind having something assisting the surgeon that's like a robotic arm or something that's helping with a particular thing because the surgeon's right there to correct it if there's a problem. But no, I'm not just going to be in a room with a machine opening me up is what I'm saying. Just- it's not happening. Yeah, I'm sure it is, yeah, drunk people, but I don't know, when I saw that video and the guy was in the car at the time when the Waymo ran the red light, and I'm like, "Seriously?" Ugh, yeah. I love how we're having 2 conversations over here. Half of you are talking about the robotic surgeries, and half of you are talking about the self-driving cars. It's the weirdest combination to be reading about. Oh my gosh. Oh, yeah, they must have good insurance. Well, yeah, I mean, oh, that is a lawsuit waiting to happen. You're in a Waymo and it gets in an accident. Yeah. And they're gonna what? Blame you in the back seat for it? Yeah, right. Yeah. That's one thing I love about living in a small town. You don't have any of that. There's no self-driving cars. I know, Pamela, two realities coexisting at once. Okay. Well, anyway, thank you guys. Remember, I'm sure most of you are resilient, but work on it. Work because you can build it. It's like building a muscle. You can build your resilience. Just remind yourself that you get knocked down, let yourself regroup, get back up. Keep being invested in life. Keep trying. That's all you can do. So well, thank you guys for being here. Thank you. I love the emojis, Pamela. Yeah. Well, anyway, can we get those likes up? We're at 159. Can we get up to like 165 at least? Well, I say my goodbyes here to everyone. Well, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you spending your part of your Tuesday with me. Oh, she's here. Lisa, she'll say goodbye. Hasta luego. No, not mañana. No, we're not coming back on here tomorrow, Lucy. No. We're going to be on here Saturday. She loves her screen time. Let me tell you, she still really wants a channel. I just can't figure out how to make one work yet. So with her, yeah, we're in negotiations right now. Anyway, have a great week, everybody. I'll see you on Saturday. I may or may not have a video coming out not tomorrow. It'll be like Thursday. I think I'm moving my normal video dates to Thursdays and Sundays, and then my live streams to Tuesdays and Saturdays. But I don't know about this Thursday, whether I will have one or not. I still wanted to do that rant about it's basically going to be a short video. It'll be about ladies, don't change your name. just don't change your name. That's what it's going to be. So otherwise you're going to get messed up by the system. So, but anyway, I'm still waiting for that. I'm supposed to get my decree of dissolution, hopefully within the next several days. I haven't heard from her, so I don't know if she got it yet. So basically, I really would like to have all my documents so that I can at least try to get a license. I don't know. Maybe I'm not supposed to get a license. Like I said, I have a perfect excuse if they pull me over and go, "Oh, why don't you have an Ohio license?" Well, because I couldn't get one. I know. La Dolce Vita. I need to have a weekly rant video that's just a rant. And then I wouldn't have to complain on anything else, on any of my other platform, on my live streams or my other video. I could just get it out of my system once a week and just rant about something. I don't know if you guys figured this out about me so far, but I have a great sense of hating injustice. I don't like injustice. It just really ticks me off. I was very interested when I was young in going into law, because I really do believe in laws and following laws and, working within justice. And so when I see things that are what I consider unjust, nothing makes me madder than that. So anyway, boomers are wild, Sean Mark. Said by a Gen Xer. What's funny is the likes are outweighing the number of people viewing this right now. I love that. It's actually outnumbering the people viewing it. Anyway, thank you guys. Have a good week. Take care of yourselves. Be kind, unless something unjust is happening. And then go on a rant. Anyway, take care. I'll see you on Saturday for the live stream.